Have you ever wondered if billionaires donated all their fortune, could we end world hunger? In this video, we will deeply explore this question, analyzing not only the immense amount of money these individuals possess, but also the logistical and structural challenges involved in distributing these resources effectively. Is simply donating money enough to solve such a complex problem as global hunger? When we think about the immense wealth accumulated by the world's billionaires, it's almost impossible not to be astonished by the astronomical numbers involved. Only a few individuals possess fortunes that surpass the GDP of many countries. For example, Elon Musk is worth more than the Marshall Islands. Examining the total wealth of billionaires reveals a fascinating yet alarming panorama of resource distribution on our planet. Currently, billionaires' wealth is calculated in trillions of dollars. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, and other magnates hold fortunes that exceed $190 billion each. This money, if combined, could theoretically be directed towards solving urgent global problems such as hunger. However, the issue is more complex than it seems at first glance. The distribution of this wealth is not uniform. Most of it is concentrated in a few sectors such as technology, fashion, and finance. This means that the origin and nature of these fortunes influence how they can be liquidated and distributed. Moreover, a large portion of billionaires' wealth is invested in stocks, properties, and other assets rather than in liquid cash, complicating the idea of a massive immediate donation. It's as if we have a tree with many fruits, but it's too high to be reached just with our hands. Even if it were possible to convert all this wealth into money quickly and efficiently, gigantic logistical questions would arise about how to distribute these resources equitably and effectively. It's not just about sending money to needy areas, but creating sustainable systems that ensure continuous and adequate access to food and basic resources. Also, there's the issue of potential corruption, a topic we'll address further ahead. When we talk about hunger and poverty, the first image that comes to mind is Africa, where hunger affects at least 236 million people on the continent. That's more than the population of Russia and Mexico combined, or 2/3 of the population of the United States. In Africa, food shortages result from various factors such as the colonial process, concentration of power, climatic conditions, corruption of authorities, low agricultural productivity, population growth, among others. During colonization, the countries that occupied Africa extracted material wealth and raw materials from the territory that could have served for the region's development. Additionally, they enslaved its people, removing the young population capable of working. In the decolonization process, to achieve independence, some countries had to fight long battles against their colonizers. This was the case of Algeria and Congo, for example. Imagining a world where hunger is eradicated is a dream shared by many. However, this goal often seems unattainable in the face of the complexity and scale of the problem. Global organizations such as the UN and IMF have conducted meticulous studies to calculate the cost of ending hunger. These estimates are crucial for understanding the magnitude of the challenge and for guiding efforts to address it effectively. Estimates vary, but all converge to a conclusion. Ending hunger will require significant investments. According to FAO data, about $50 billion annually would be needed to achieve the goal of global food security by 2030. So, if we could liquidate all of Elon Musk's assets, he would solve this problem for a maximum of 4 or 5 years. But if we consider other billionaires' fortunes in this equation, donating to this cause would be only a tiny fraction of their net worth. But would this actually solve it? Pouring infinite money, would it end world hunger? In theory, the answer seems simple: yes. With so much money available, it would be possible to implement food security programs, invest in agricultural infrastructure, and distribute food to those who need it most. However, reality is much more complex. The distribution of resources on a global scale involves a series of logistical, political, and social challenges that cannot be ignored. Moreover, it's important to consider the nature of philanthropy and donations from large fortunes. Many billionaires are already involved in charity and philanthropic initiatives, directing their resources to specific causes they consider priorities. However, the issue of global hunger is multifaceted and requires a holistic approach that goes beyond simply providing food. In 2021, Elon Musk challenged the WFP, saying he would sell Tesla shares to finance a hunger-fighting plan if the WFP could describe exactly how it would work. Days later, the director of the UN's food program tweeted a link to a 1,000-word executive summary. It maps out how the UN would deploy $6.6 billion in meals and vouchers to feed more than 40 million people in 43 countries on the brink of famine. And after that, there was no further response from the Tesla owner. But let's suppose, just like in this video's card, billionaires woke up and wanted to solve world hunger, making it their life mission. If we're in a game like Monopoly where problems are solved just by throwing money, it's also crucial to understand that massive donation isn't a simple or guaranteed solution to immediately solve all the world's problems. Even with billions or even trillions of dollars available, the effective implementation of programs and initiatives requires careful planning, transparency, and accountability. Corruption poses a significant threat to the effectiveness of charity and philanthropic initiatives, potentially diverting precious resources that should be allocated to noble causes. To mitigate this risk, it's essential to implement robust mechanisms for accountability and transparency at all stages of the donation and resource distribution process. And given that this is a gigantic project, trustworthy people are needed in each of the fronts we'll address subsequently. Money itself doesn't end hunger, but food does. And when we address food distribution to combat hunger, it's crucial to consider the logistical challenges involved in this process. The infrastructure needed to deliver food to the neediest areas is often precarious or non-existent, greatly hindering effective resource distribution. In remote regions or in emergency situations, such as natural disasters or armed conflicts, logistical obstacles can become even more complex. One of the main logistical challenges is the lack of roads and adequate transportation to reach isolated communities. In many developing countries, especially in rural areas, roads can be poor or even non-existent, making it difficult for food transport trucks to access them. Additionally, in regions affected by natural disasters or conflicts, roads may be blocked or damaged, further complicating the delivery of humanitarian aid. Another significant logistical challenge is the lack of adequate storage and refrigeration infrastructure for perishable foods. In many needy areas, especially in tropical countries, high temperatures can accelerate food deterioration, making it essential to have refrigerated storage facilities. However, building and maintaining such infrastructure requires significant investments in financial and technical resources. Moreover, food distribution also faces challenges related to security and personnel logistics. In areas affected by armed conflicts or violence, humanitarian workers may face significant risks to their personal safety, limiting their ability to deliver food to needy communities. Additionally, lack of training and adequate resources can compromise the effectiveness of food distribution operations. And to implement this mega-logistic operation, the support of local governments is of utmost importance. The role of government policies in distributing donated resources presents a crucial aspect to ensure that these resources effectively reach the most needy populations. Government policies play a key role in creating structures and regulations that guide the distribution and efficient use of donated resources, ensuring that these resources are directed to the areas of greatest need and used transparently and responsibly. Effective government policy can ensure that donated resources are distributed equitably and fairly, taking into account the specific needs of each community and region. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. In the face of these challenges, partnerships with non-governmental organizations, NGOs, play a crucial role in the efficient and effective distribution of donated resources. NGOs often have a strong local presence and a deep understanding of the needs of the communities in which they operate, allowing them to identify the most needy areas and target resources in a focused and effective manner. Additionally, NGOs often have agile emergency response capabilities, allowing them to quickly mobilize resources and personnel in crisis situations. One of the main advantages of partnerships with NGOs is their ability to fill gaps left by the public sector, especially in areas where governments have limited resources or face significant logistical challenges. Moreover, NGOs often enjoy greater flexibility, local acceptance in conflict areas, and autonomy compared to government institutions, allowing them to adapt their interventions according to the specific needs of each context. This can be especially important in emergency situations, where the ability to respond quickly and adaptively can make the difference between life and death for many people. Up to this point, I've described several characteristics of the process of donating billions to end world hunger, and I could mention much more. However, we've already been able to perceive the complexity of this issue. But the best way to understand the future is by looking at the past and examining historical examples of massive donations that can shed light on the potential results and impacts of such gestures. An emblematic example is the Gates Foundation, created by Bill and Melinda Gates, which directed billions of dollars to global health, education, and development initiatives. This monumental donation had a transformative impact, helping eradicate diseases, improve the quality of life in needy communities, and promote access to education worldwide. Another notable example is the Rockefeller Foundation, which for decades has invested in health, education, agriculture, and economic development projects. By examining these cases, we can observe patterns and trends that can help us better understand the potential impact of massive donations on eradicating hunger. For example, these initiatives often focus on holistic approaches that aim not only to provide immediate food, but also to address the underlying causes of hunger, such as poverty, inequality, and lack of access to basic resources. And although there isn't a global collaboration to combat hunger, most billionaires have social projects, and we can discuss whether significant amounts are invested or if it's just a facade. In the meantime, you can understand in this video on the screen why the rich get richer even during crises. Until next time.